Hi, this is Brandon Spillane from thirstgym.com. Today we're talking about exercise called the Cambered bar squat versus bands. It's a fantastic squat variation used to develop your speed and also help develop your squat strength. So to be able to perform this, you're going to need a pair of bands of some kind, depending on how strong you are will probably dictate the strength of the bands. We'll get to that in a second. And you're also going to need a cambered bar, which is a specialty bar designed specifically for squatting. Now the cambered bar is great because we get this camber here, which is going to challenge our stability in the squat. So it's going to challenge our trunk and midsection area. It's going to challenge our upper back. And generally, the cambered bar is a little bit easier because the weight is below us. So the center of gravity of the weight is more around our hip level than up here at the top. However, because of the oscillatory effect of the barbell, it is more challenging just by itself. Now, the bands are going to help ground us a little bit. So the bands are constantly pulling down. That's going to prevent us from moving front to back as much. It can still happen, certainly, but not quite as much if the bands weren't on there. Now, the camber bar is probably going to be used for building that midsection or trunk like we talked about, but also it's going to help save our shoulders. So as you can see when I get under here, my hands are down here versus up here, okay? So I'm not in that bad external rotated position. I'm really actually kind of internally rotated, or like I'm really short, so I kind of push out. So I am externally rotated a little bit, but they're down lower instead of having my hand up over by my head. So it does change some mechanics there, and it's great if you happen to have some elbow shoulder problems that are bothering your squat. Camber bar is great for that. This one is a rackable one, and I have it in my monolift, so you can put this in a standard power rack if you wish, but they also make the giant cambered ones as well. I think you can see those on like West Side videos. So why would we use a cambered bar for bands? Number one is going to be the overspeed eccentrics. The bands are constantly pulling down, so they're going to make our muscles react faster underneath that stretch shortening cycle. So if I held a band here and I was doing a curl and I go to come down with the band's going to be pulling it down faster than I would normally let gravity go. And then what's going to happen is the Golgi tendon organs and all the lovely physiology stuff is going to tell my muscles to contract harder to go against that band, and then I would come back. Same thing's going to happen, but with our musculature of our lower body, so our glutes, hamstrings, and quads. They're going to get that overspeed eccentric aspect, and you should be able to theoretically come out stronger than when you went in. But I will tell you, because of the band tension, it's very likely that you might hold more weight at the top than you normally would without the bands if you happen to do this for a heavy single or double or something like that. But this is in general why you would use this exercise. In terms of the setup, the bands here are doubled. So we've got them around our band pegs. I think band pegs is the easiest way to set this up. And we're going to double them up here. As you can see, they're doubled up. They just go on the bar like that. And this is going to let us keep tension on the barbell pretty much the whole range of motion, all the way down and all the way back up. Now, I'm incredibly short, and it's pretty dang close down on the bottom. It doesn't lose tension, but I can definitely feel the difference. Some people will run a straight line from the bar, straight up and down. That's not right. If you happen to be a good, really big, strong squatter, you can actually get away with setting it up to where the bands go around the 45-pound plates. But usually you got to be probably a 700, 800, 900-pound squatter for that to really work, to where you have multiple 45s on for even dynamic effort training. So that is the setup and everything and why you might use it. Let's talk about how you're going to perform the exercise and just kind of give you a demo of what it looks like, and we'll kind of go from there. So I'm going to line myself up here. And I've got my monolift set up so I can just unrack it and go. I'm going to create some tension here on the sides, put it on my normal bar position, get ready to go. Big breath, keep my chest up tall, stabilize myself, and then go. And then I can rack. And we're good. So as you can notice, I'm sure you can tell that there is going to be less tension in the bottom, more tension on the top, which is great for, like I said, having less load in the bottom. So from a programming standpoint, how would we do this? I honestly think that with the bands and not having a box, I really think that probably doing speed work is the best place to have this in your training program. By all means, you can do a 1 rep max, 2 rep max, 3 rep max, 3 sets of 5. Use it as a strength exercise, But I do think that just the way that it feels, you're probably better off if you feel like you're getting that pop. I think it feels great on a speed work position. If you're really wanting to try to do a max effort variation, I would check out this version with the chains, which we also have on our YouTube channel. So let's talk about the dynamic effort portion of it. I think the heavy part kind of speaks for itself if you happen to be doing a conjugate-based system. So if you're going to do this for dynamic effort work, I think between 40 and 55% of your bar weight, and then having about 20 to 25% band tension on there is about where you want to be to get the most from this exercise. And then you're going to perform that from anywhere from probably 15 to 6. That's a 2, 3, 5. Really just depending upon how you have your percentages ran and your waves and things like that. So you obviously would keep your rest on the lower end as well, considering maybe your dynamic effort work. You're probably going to be resting anywhere between 30 and 60 seconds between sets and just continue to go over and over and over, trying to fatigue the nervous system in terms of creating that force output. So that is the cambered bar squat against bands or versus bands. Fantastic variation for dynamic effort work or just really mixing your training up and getting some speed and building your squat while keeping your shoulders healthy. I know that the cambered bar is not exactly the most common piece of equipment in a gym, but I do think if you have access to it and a monolift and you happen to train with a crew or something, I think a good dynamic effort cycle of the cambered bar is fantastic for building your squat, especially the speed side, and at the same time keeping everything else feeling good and healthy. So if you've got any questions, please feel free to leave in the comment section. Thanks. Have a great day.